I would like to bring up your World Health link.
Oh, yes.
I mean, World Health Net?
Yes.
WorldHealth.net, yes. That's the official website of the A4M. Second oldest website on the Internet in healthcare. So since 1996, we've been pumping out the information on advanced preventive medicine and regenerative medicine and anti-aging and all the other parts thereof.
That's worldhealth.net.
Yep.
And I was just on that web page before we spoke. One of the lead articles you had there, as well as many, many others, was about how using fasting changes food cravings. First of all, it's an article, but then it comes with documentation. And what you're doing is you're giving it back to the reader, to the listener, to the patient to take charge of their health, to create changes in their life.
Well, you really have to take charge of your health because the system is not interested in giving you anything more than HMO, at best, HMO healthcare. Now, maybe you'll get it from a better-looking doctor or at a fancier new facility or someplace that has, some exciting new technology in it. But the reality is that it's medicine by the book. And if you're in the book, God bless you. But if you're not in the book, and at least 30% of people who have problems are not in the book, the book is not written for them, then you're out of luck.
That's true. That's true. I would even say that for some physicians who make a transition. Okay, let's say chelation. We understand that heavy metals toxicity is a big problem, and chelation is a process that helps lower that burden, and some physicians specialize in that. However, if you go to a physician who is totally into chelation and ignores everything else, they're not the total answer for you. You've got to search out the other answers you might need. You may not find one certain practitioner that holds the key to coach you in everything you need. And that's why it becomes so important the Internet is just amazing. And World Health being available where anybody can go there and with the power of a search engine find information that's pertinent to their own needs and made readable so the public can use it. It's phenomenal.
You're absolutely correct. WorldHealth.net has something like 200,000 medical abstracts
wow.
or short blurbs on different disease processes. So, or mostly focused on aging. So it's very, it's a very robust site, and there's something on there for everyone, whether it be diabetes or weight loss or cognitive dysfunction or depression or heart disease or almost anything you can mention, and even the nutritional therapies and some of the other stuff. We have an awful lot of information on, exercise, rehabilitation, pain management. I mean, really across the board, basically anything that has to do with advanced preventive medicine or has to do with the prevention of aging-related disease.
And it's all available. You just go to the worldhealth.net and you can look all this up. And
it's all free.
It's all free.
It's a public service. The American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine is a nonprofit organization, and since 1991, we've been out there, creating this information and making it available to physicians and the public.
Which is hugely important. Some of these things, if you start looking information up, you find tools that help you assess yourself. And you may need to find a practitioner partner for maybe some testing or some guidance on how you integrate things into your life. But the truth is out there. People accuse the Internet of having a lot of junk, but it also has a lot of good stuff. And I don't like when people say Dr. Google and make fun of people. I use Google, and I can go to PubMed, and I have abstracts and sometimes full articles.
My experience is real information shines through. I mean, it's like looking at real gold versus looking at fake gold. It's very, if you know what you're doing, it's very easy to tell what fake gold is. And
right.
people don't put a lot of energy and effort into putting out, baloney, at least not in healthcare.
Yeah.
In healthcare, it's pretty easy to see what's real and what's not. Just look at the references. Look where the underlying story comes from. And if the underlying story is from, legitimate, trusted sources and doctors, most importantly, in my opinion, if a doctor puts his name on a story, you can be pretty sure that story is mostly for real because, doctors have liability. Doctors can get hurt. If they say the wrong thing, they can lose a license. They can be sued. So they're very careful about saying things that are, really pretty much well documented.
I wanted to get back to anti-aging, and when we're dealing with drug medicine, when we're dealing with symptom medicine, we're looking at finances that could sink our country.
Oh, yeah, insane. I don't know what it is in Canada, but in the U.S., it's $3.5 trillion. I mean, it's like all the top 10 countries combined, the budget, just in the U.S. It's astronomical. And, I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't be upset with it if we got our money's worth.
Well, if people were feeling better and getting healthier.
Yeah, America, according to the World Health Organization, America is like number 48 or below in modern indices of general health care. How's that work when we're paying 10 times more than many countries?
I just heard a statistic out of Cleveland Clinic that of 60-year-olds and people going to the clinic, the majority of people are on 10 medicines daily.
Wow, I got to invest in some more pharmaceuticals. That's a winning industry. It's crazy. And you know what the biggest problem with being on 10 drugs is? I guarantee your doctor doesn't have a clue as to what those interactions are.
Yeah.
Carol, am I right?
You're absolutely right.
So we're coming to the end of our time. And is there something, Dr. Klatz, that you'd like to share with the audience that we haven't gone over yet?
Well, a couple of things. And that is that no one cares more about whether you live or die than the guy in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I mean, it just is that way. You could have the greatest doctor, you could have the greatest kids, the greatest wife, but the person who's really going to decide whether you live or die is you. Anyone who doesn't take charge of their own health care really has a death wish. You need to be an active participant, and you need to look at your doctor as your coach, not as the guy who's going to be, organizing, your long-term health, because he's not. He doesn't have the time. He doesn't have the energy. He may not have the education. He may not have the interest, and he certainly is not being paid for it.
No.
And so you got to realize the person who does have the interest and the long-term view is you. And so it's a matter of education. And that's the most important thing. Educate yourself, because the life you save will be your own. And anti-aging medicine works, absolutely works. It's the next paradigm of healthcare for everyone, not just for the uber-rich. You can buy yourself an extra 5-10 years of youthful, productive lifespan right now, today, simply by educating yourself and following some tenets of anti-aging medicine. And so if you don't do it, well, who's the fool?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be insulting. I'm trying to be empowering. What I'm saying is that the power and the technology and the education is available, and it's available for free, and it's online. And if you can't find it anywhere else, go to worldhealth.net, which is the official website of the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine.
And you'll get amazing information.
The last thing I'd like to say is we live in a time of miracles every day, and you should thank God, because every day is another breakthrough, and there are no diseases that are untreatable anymore. And it used to be, 30 years ago, a lot of diseases that were untreatable. Now there's nothing that's untreatable, and there are cures in the wings for all of it. And a lot of it is coming out of anti-aging clinical research. And so keep educated, keep aware of it, because even if you have a terrible problem, I know of people who are recovering from ALS, and ALS is probably the worst disease in the world. And there are people who are actually recovering from it. Lots of people recovering from cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people recovering from heart disease and diabetes. these are not death sentences anymore. These things are treatable conditions, and in fact, maybe even curable conditions. And so that's the promise of the future of anti-aging medicine. And, and so if you like living and you want an extra 5 years, 10 years, maybe 20, then it behooves you to learn more about, what these doctors are doing with the new science of anti-aging regenerative medicine.
Well, that's so beautifully put. I agree entirely. And when I heard you speak again at this meeting, I immediately was thinking how good it would be to bring this message to our radio audience. And I'm so grateful that you were able to spend time with us today, Dr. Klatz.
Oh, my pleasure, Carol. I think you guys are doing a great job.